The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallmark trying to go 3 wide, no one's with them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
Welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV. Here tonight, back with the ASRS. Our first time here covering the Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series here tonight from the Michigan International Raceway.
Where are we at?
It's Richmond.
Oh, Richmond. What did I say?
You're at the wrong track.
You said Michigan International Speedway.
Oh, well, my bad. From the Richmond International Speed. I was looking right at the logo, too. Joining me in the booth tonight, as always, is myself, Brandon Krutz. Then it's Corey Silva and Evan Black. Corey Silva doubling as our tech producer every night. And, yeah, Richmond, not Michigan. I don't know.
Just adding to the blooper reel, Brandon. Adding to the blooper reel.
I was looking. Okay, it's not the first time that one of us has done that there, Corey.
Yeah. But we are happy to bring tonight's coverage to you. We have a full season, 41 races of the ASRS Truck Series and the Cup Series to bring to you to encompass the 2018 campaign every single week here on PTR TV. So as race 1 is underway, or in qualifying at the moment, we have 3 minutes left after the drivers' meeting has concluded.
Now, for the season opener for these guys, over 50 drivers attempted to qualify to get in. Only, I believe, what was it, 32 will start?
36 will start.
36, yeah.
A lot of qualifications to go into this race in terms of requirements. If people were in last season, or if you were in last season, you had to enter a few test races to qualify yourself to be able to be eligible for this. So a very astute league on the iRacing service. So a lot of high-profile drivers, a lot of exciting racing. I'm sure to be ahead of us tonight.
Drivers making their qualifying laps now. Drew Carroll currently on the provisional pole. 24 drivers have made a lap so far.
20 points now. 20.778 for Carroll. That gives him about half of a tenth or so on Ty Hester. We did cover these guys for 2 races at the end of the 2017 season for the Truck Series, rather. We brought you the Homestead season finale, where we saw Jason Stewart win the championship, and then we brought you the race at Phoenix before that. So we have a little bit of experience with some of the drivers in this league, but there's going to be a lot of new faces, so just we'll do our best to make sure we get everyone's names properly pronunciated. If we get it wrong, we'll get it right for next week, so just bear with us with that.
These guys going through a round of qualifying here to set starting position.
Obviously the Richmond International Raceway, 3/4 of a mile racetrack, as we all know and love. A track that is very conducive to side-by-side racing, known as the action track. So expect some bumping, some banging, some short track tempers, but it's also fast enough to kind of feel like a little bit of a speedway.
Pretty cool track out there right now. It's 74-degree track temp, 73 air temp.
The grip should not be of any concern for these drivers. It should be rather plentiful for them tonight, as qualifying is soon coming to a close. I only see Brian Yaksik on track right now, the 55. He is on his first lap, so he will complete that in a matter of moments. We'll see what he's capable of running. He comes off of turn number 4 and number 1 for the 55.
P3.
Very good lap, and they'll call it 1 and done.
And we have a new driver on top of the
Scott
scoring
Eckridge
pylon with a really good lap, almost just over a full 10th quicker than second place, Drew Carroll.
Yeah, in the sixes, if I could manage to get that out. So yeah, as you said, having a full 10th up over second place, so that is quite the lap. But as we know, in these Monster Energy NASCAR Cup machines, tire wear is of the essence. You will see some drivers get off to a really good start and then perhaps drop off as the race progresses if they overdo their stuff. So sometimes a good qualifying run is not necessarily going to translate to the fastest car in the race.
And Corey, this correction is Brian Yazik.
Yazik, there we go. See, that is what you need to know. Broadcasters on their first race of the season. We're going to have to figure that out the hard way, so thank you for that. And if there's any other ones we mispronunciate, if that's even a word, also let us know. Pronunciate? Pronounce?
Mispronounced.
Yeah, there we go.
It's the proper terminology, Corey.
All right, well, we'll make sure.
A lot of big words here that we're not used to on the channel.
Yeah, the English language, as we know. But that is the end of qualifying, so we will transition to the grid right now and get you the Primetime Racing TV starting lineup for the ASRS Premier Cup Series Twitchy Race Sports back to Cup 200. That is a mouthful for you right there as well. On the pole tonight is going to be Scott Eckridge with his 20.676 second lap off of him. Our congratulations. Drew Carroll on the outside front row. In the third spot is Brian Yazik, and then in the fourth spot is Ty Hester. In the fifth position is going to be Steve Ritter with Nicholas Cohan in the sixth spot. And then we have Jonathan Holstein, Alan Young, Jamie Moore, and Michael Krobuck, the top 10.
And Travis Wright starting 11th, Sam Maxwell to his outside, Scott Smith in 13th, Devin Sarah to his outside. And then Brad Cross, Danny Rogers, Zach Callaway, Taylor Seville, Jordan Ashland, and Jason Stewart around the top 20. Then Jared Miller, Tim Knott, Rick Thompson, Alex Geese, and Woody Mahan rounding out the top 25.
Starting in the 26th position is Mark Emerson. Then it's John Kennedy, Lee Staples, Steve Bula, Chris Titus, Jim Foose, Troy Height, Scott Holler,
Tom Gianni.
Gianni, sorry about that, Tom.
And then we have Edward Bray and Jeff Ward, Jacob Greider, Jared Haggerty, Zach Coyer, Ian Hayes. A 40-car grid, full-size grid here on the 3/4 mile circuit in Richmond, Virginia. So this is going to be one action-packed, intense race.
I love how Corey just kind of took over.
Well, you guys had a lot of names. I had to get my share in.
We're going to try to make it easy on you tonight.
All right, so we will wait for these drivers to fully assemble on the grid. Yes, they have. The pace car is rolling. It'll be 2 pace laps around this circuit tonight. And the 77, we apologize, Alex Giese. I know I struggled with that one at Homestead, got back the last season, I remember, so there we go, we got that.
I always just call them geese. But we can make that correction now.
So these guys under pace speed now, rolling off grid. They'll get 2 pace laps around. Right now they're stacked up, doubled up, ready for the start here. The season opener here with the Premier Cup Series presented by Twitchy Race Reports.
One more time around the speedway right now. Scott Eckrich in the 88 machine. He will get this race underway in that 88 machine. Starting on the bottom here, we'll see what kind of run he's able to get. Richmond is not always the easiest track to get restarted on, with the turn 4 kind of being very sharp, getting on throttle at a very awkward point in the turn. So these guys will have to watch out for the wheel spin, watch out for that, and watch out because as we said, a very full field tonight.
Absolutely, Corey. These guys ready, waiting for the pace car to duck in this time by 40 cars, hitting the loud pedal, green flag in the air for the first time in the season.
Scott Eckrich got a really good jump there. He's going to clear the 85 for the lead and into turn 1.
Yeah, he got a pretty good jump. He's already up by about 3 or 4 car lengths as everybody tries to funnel themselves through turn number 1 and 2. So far, we've gotten through half the lap. It looks like we're going to get through the first lap under green flag conditions.
Easy for you to say.
Guys starting to go single file now. Couple guys going side by side back here. The 82 trying to gain some spots. Now up against the 72. That's around a mid-pack so far. A little bit loosey-goosey, slippy-slidey off corners now. 72 making a move down low.
See right now, Jamie Moore in the 82. He was able to pick up a couple spots right there. Behind him is Devin Serra. Remember, he was in the Championship 4 last year in the Truck Series. He's right now on the outside as Travis Wright trying to make a move to the inside of him.
Yeah, Serra was trying to look to the outside, but it doesn't look like the outside is working too well for these drivers at the moment.
Where we have 200 laps around this short track, we do expect that to come in later. The dynamic track iRacing has on the tables here, the inside groove is really going to wear in, and that outside groove will most likely come in probably about halfway through this race, if not sooner.
Yeah, with the 200 lap race, that will definitely happen, Corey.
Especially with the 40 cars on track tonight. So again, very good job by these drivers to get through these first couple laps. Green flag, that's always the hardest part, as there's a pass for the second position now. Brian Yazik in the 55 gets by the 85 of Drew Carroll.
Yazik got by him pretty easily. Let's see if he can go and get our leader, the 88 of Eckrich.
The 55 machine trying to work his way up through the fields. Meanwhile, behind him, the 85 has company once again for the 36 machine.
Ty Hester. Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing. Ty Hester gets a little bit sideways off turn 2. Seems to be the recurring theme we'll see tonight. The Hitachi Toyota Camry for Hester trying to make a move on the number 85 of Carroll here. Looks like 85 of Carroll has gotten back in his rhythm and is pulled away a little bit from Ty.
It looks like Yazik is starting to catch our leader of Eckrich. He's about a 10th and a half quicker last lap.
On the battle tracker, we could see that, as Evan stated, the 88 rather ran a 29.39 to a 21.3 for Yazik. So that is, as we said, a 10th faster.
And once again, another 10th.
Gap is under 0.4 of a second, so the battle for the lead may be shaping up in a matter of moments. We'll go back mid-pack right now. Alex Giese in the 77, tight quarters racing with Jason Stewart. Remember the champion last season in the Truck Series. That battle has ceased itself out. Zach Calloway in the 2 has the number 92 Rick Thompson to his inside. This is in the 19th and 20th spot. Racing all around this circuit. Then we'll go even further back. You can see the 25 of Chris Titus. He has John Kennedy. So drivers all through the pack fighting for every position.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey. And these guys, it's early in the race. These guys in the back gonna be trying to fight to get back up front because 200 laps seems a lot now. But if they sit there and wait and you know, pit stops start to cycle through, they'll be stuck in the back all race.
Yeah, they will. Right now, here comes another battle for position. The 20 of Devin Serra underneath the 82 machine. Jamie Moore on the front straightaway entering turn number 1. He will clear. And now the 10 of Travis Wright's going to try and fill that hole that was open. A little bit of almost contact off turn number 2.
Side by side, heading down the back straightaway down into turns 3 and 4. Now the 21 machine looking to get into this action now. Not going to happen that time by. These guys having a solid fight for position.
Still side by side, the action track here in Richmond living up to its title right now. The 82 of Moore doing his best to hang on the outside. And here comes the 21 of Scott Smith coming behind him. He's going to have to make a move. Who is he going to go with as they're side by side? No open hole. He's going to have to pick a lane.
82 of Moore is really pinching down the 10. He will clear now.
And now Danny Rogers in the 0-2. He caught the 21 in an awkward position. Now he's going to go to the inside, try to take that spot. That is the 14th and 15th positions, rather. Jared Mogard in the 0-0 in the 16th spot, trying to take a look underneath Rogers. Nothing doing there.
A lot of close racing going on so far, though, guys. And as this racing goes on, tell me what you guys think for pit stops. If we don't get a caution, how tricky is it getting into this pit road?
It is really tricky getting onto this pit road because you really don't expect it to be that early in the corner, or I guess on the straightaway, because usually it's out of turn 4. Here you have to start slowing down and getting down on the apron in the center of 3 and 4.
Something that these guys are going to have to watch tonight if we go green. Now looking the 0-0, trying to get in position on the 21 machine, heading down the back straightaway. Not going to happen that time. By now the 0-2 to his outside.
0-2 on the outside of Mogard. 0-2 is getting it run out of 4 and down the front straightaway. Looks like Mogard might drive it in deep into 1. He will. 0-2 still has the advantage.
0-2 of Danny Rogers nearly, indeed does clear off turn number 2, but going back to the point you guys were talking about with pit stops, obviously being a short track, you're going to lose, most likely guaranteed to lose 2 spots, well 2 laps rather, if you pit under green flag. So you really don't want a short pit on the case of that caution coming out, so it's going to be really kind of a dangerous call to come to pit road, very nerve-wracking.
I'm already seeing a couple of guys starting to get really loose here, especially off turn number 2, the 16 machine. Almost about spun it down the back straightaway. Awesome save by him, but now he's got company from the 70 machine.
Yeah, Steve Ritter in the number 16 machine. He is on the inside right now, the inside of the 70 of Jonathan Holstein, and then another side-by-side battle behind them right now. Well, that has ceased. The 24 Alan Young sneaking in the mix here. You can see the 98 really moving up the track. That's Sam Maxwell.
Maxwell ended up gaining a couple positions out of that. Now he's got his eyes set up ahead here. This is all within the top 10.
You can see the 24 of Young really running a higher lane through turn 1 already. He was almost in the 3rd groove. I know he was side by side, but I think he was even higher than really he needed to be. Wondering if that's already working.
Caution on the speedway.
Lee Staples in the 64 backwards on the back straightaway. So let's go back on PTR replay and see if we can find out what happened to Lee.
Now guys, I had just mentioned a couple of guys starting to get loose down off of turn number 2. It looks like that's exactly what happened to Staples there, and he looped around, went into the inside wall down the back straightaway. He's got some pretty major front end damage to that race car.
Yeah, and he's still trying to get himself situated there in the back straightaway. Doesn't want to get into any traffic, so a little bumping and beating with the wall there, trying to get himself going, but he does indeed do so. He may be able to continue. Being this is a short track, he may be okay, minus the track position loss.
If he doesn't have engine damage, he should be okay.
Yeah, I was about to say one thing that he is going to have to watch is going to be the temperatures within that engine bay and watch his gauges. But other than that, he might be okay.
And we have the leaders coming down pit road. Looks like everyone coming down.
As we are 22 laps into this 200 lap race, we know how important tire wear is. So everyone wants to get those fresh tires as soon as they possibly can. So let's see here if there is any strategy calls made. Sam Maxwell, I think he missed a stall as he's already exited the pit lane already. So something going on there.
Looks like he did miss his stall. And we've got two drivers that have gone behind the wall. Tyler Saville and Lee Staples. Only 34 drivers out there right now.
Brian Yazik in the 55. He got out of pit lane first right now. 4-tire stop for him as well, but 2.5 faster on the stopwatch. So give his pit crew the medal for that time by. A good opening run to the race here for these ASRS Premier Cup Series drivers. For a 40-car field to go even 20 laps without incident, I say I am pretty impressed with these guys, and I think we're going to have a good, clean race ending here, given how that started.
Absolutely, Corey, and we did see a little bit of action through that little bit of a stint there. About 20 laps these guys went, so yeah, about 180 laps to go in this race, and these guys, they're gonna put on a good show here tonight.
Yeah, we already have seen a lot of really good racing all across this field.
Again, want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight here to PTR TV. Quite the audience here we do have watching. If you haven't liked and sub, again, please do so. Show us the support. Show the ASRS guys the support. Have some fun and chat. Let's talk about the race. Have a good time here tonight watching this race. I know we will be here in the booth.
Lights should be out on the pace car next time by. Brian Yazik leading this field, Scott Eckridge in second, Drew Carroll in third, Nicholas Cohan in fourth, and Ty Hester rounding out the top 5.
And as Evan kind of alluded to earlier, we have 34 cars still in the race right now, and all of those 34 are on the lead lap. So we still have quite the grid here, as we've only dropped a couple, 3 drivers in fact, since the race beginning. So still a lot of competition on the track. 25 laps into a 200 lap race. Brian Yazik in the 55, kind of reversed grid this time by. He'll be on the inside, and the 88 machine of Scott Eckridge rather on the outside for this restart.
I would like to quickly point out that Lee Staples, he was the cause of the last caution, did take it behind the wall.
Yeah, I talked about that during pit stops. Anyway, pace car getting ready to pull down into pit road. It does, now waiting on Brian Yazik to get on the throttle, and he does, and we're back underway.
Green flag in the air and a good run for the 55 on the inside. Again, the inside seems to be where you want to be on the restart. Already cleared by about 2 to 3 car lengths as we go for a battle for the 3rd position. Heating up right now. 85 Carroll to the inside. Nicholas Cohan on the outside.
Cohan side by side. Going into turn number 3. Slight advantage out of 4. He should get a pretty good run down the front straightaway.
And then they're side by side behind him. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Brendan.
I was going to say the 88 machine up front. It looks like we could have a battle for the lead here pretty soon. We know the 88 machine has the speed.
Yeah, the 88 was a little quicker, especially in that short run there. So we'll see what he can do with our lead at the 55.
He may have the speed on the stopwatch.
Caution out.
Once again.
Big wreck on the front stretch.
Oh, wow.
See
the 10 machine goes
30.
Around.
He just got hit by the 0-2.
A couple of guys taking some pretty heavy damage in that one, and a majority of the field making around, a couple guys coming to a complete stop to avoid it. But yeah, pretty severe size right down the front straightaway. We go yellow once again.
I think it was just a
Looks
kind
like
of...
he may have came down just a little bit.
May have also been a little bit of a situation where somebody thought somebody got a better run off the turn than somebody else and just didn't perhaps want to kill the run, thought they may have been able to avoid it, and that obviously was not the case. So given that we barely even got up to speed there, don't expect anybody of note up front to take it to pit lane. And something that I didn't really notice earlier but I can call out now, there is a lot of marbles on this racetrack, more than we typically see on the iRacing service. So I wonder if that's going to have any effect on these drivers moving up the track as the race progresses.
Yeah, it might just take them a little bit longer to clean up the third groove up there.
And even on the inside lane, Evan, you can kind of see the inside of the track too has a little bit of buildup, and if they do have to make green flag stops, that may cause even extra issue. We talked about the green flag pit stop entry that we do have here, so just even taking away some of that traction obviously is not going to make causes any easier.
Yeah, that's a good point, Corey. Is the apron of the track has quite a few marbles on it. See someone asking in chat if this is open or fixed. It is a fixed setup series.
Couple drivers further in the pack deciding to come to pit lane just to maybe fix up some damage, or just take some fresh tires, take a stab at it, maybe fix any, as I said, fix any damage they may have already incurred. Nobody up front though, as again we only had a couple laps stint there.
Should be getting the 1 to green next time by. These drivers will get all doubled up.
Already kind of see here, even though we've not really gotten too far into this race, we already can see the dark groove already built up on the inside. That is already a sign that we may start seeing these drivers kind of shop around the track, trying to see what line works best for them. I do know from experience driving here at Richmond in these vehicles in the past, in a pretty long race, you will be searching around this track. I remember I found some grip all the way in the third lane one time, so that may be a case for these drivers as the latter half of the race gets to us.
Yeah, usually at this track on a long run with the new tire model and dynamic track, you kind of want to run the middle to almost even up in the third lane and just bring it down on an exit, especially at 2 to keep it out of the wall.
That makes passing very interesting because you have the whole bottom groove wide open, but almost similar to running a dirt track. You see the slick there, and you know that that's a wide open lane for you to run, but you know that it's not going to be easy to hold it down there. But if you do want to make a pass, you're going to have to go for it. And just,
yeah, and the lights are, go ahead, Corey.
I was going to say, then you have to pray that you can make it stick. But as you were going to say, Evan, lights out on the pace car. We get doubled up, stacked up, and let's get ready for some racing here at Richmond.
Top 5 is still the same, except I think the third row may have switched lanes a little bit.
These guys ready to go back racing here once again at Richmond. ASRS Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series. Here their season opener. Pace car ducks back down in.
88 was able to anticipate that start a lot better than anyone else has. He's only just about a car length back from the 55 of Yatek.
Some side-by-side racing pretty far, at about the latter half of the top 10 right now. We have the 24 of Alan Young. He is side-by-side at the present moment with the 72 machine of Michael Krobik right here. And then behind him, Devin Serra side-by-side with Steve Ritter, side-by-side all over this racetrack. And then behind them, another side-by-side battle shaping up.
How many times can you say side-by-side in one sentence, Corey?
A lot. But I have to because there's a lot of it going on. Rick Thompson is also door-to-door with Jordan Ashland right here. This is for the 13th and 14th position, respectively.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of side-by-side during these restarts.
all
all
these guys
bundled up.
Yeah, exactly, Evan. All these guys really trying to fight each other for position. And there's a cluster of cars back here for around the 10th position.
As we're about to have a battle for the lead, the 88 has got right to the back bumper of the 55 of Yazek. Losing a little bit on the exit of 4. Just getting a little bit back though.
Catching
The
him.
88 clearly showing more speed.
Catching him is one thing though, passing him is another. If they are similarly paced, which we believe they are, which we can see that they are, even though the 88 may have a little bit of an advantage, he's gonna have to find a way around him, and that is not always the easiest feat.
These guys both running a little bit different lines going down into the corners here, and it looks like the 55 machine is a little bit better off of turn number 4. The 88 better off turn number 2.
And I'll tell you, if I had to pick which one I'd be better at, I would pick the 55. I'd always rather be better off turn 4, because if you ever needed to, that's where you're going to win the race, is off turn number 4. But as you said, Brandon, here comes the surge off Scott Edrick down the back straightaway into turn number 3, right to the back bumper. Let's see if he can hold it off of 4.
88 has gotten to his back bumper a few times in the center of 3, but just cannot hold on out of 4. He did a pretty nice job that time though.
88 running just a little bit lower of a line. That's where his sweet spot has been. He got another car length. Let's see if he can figure out what he may be doing a little bit wrong in turns 3 and 4. Yazek and the 55, they've run identical lines, and they actually held in a pretty similar gap.
Yeah, I think the 88 backed it up a little bit more than what he usually did, and that helped him.
Down through turns 1 and 2 rights now. The 88 machine trying to gain a little bit. He's
Got loose.
really loose off turn number 2 that time by.
Looks like the 55 has kind of stretched it out by a car length or so as we hit the start-finish line for lap number 42. Maybe he's found a groove. Maybe the 88 just kind of regrouping himself, trying to get back into the rhythm of it. Looks like most of the drivers have managed to kind of get into their own little rhythm right now. We've kind of spread out throughout the field right now. Go back, see a little bit of a battle shaping up between Michael Krobik in the 72 and the 70 of Jonathan Holstein. Also Alan Young on the 24 getting back to this. This is a battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th positions.
Yeah, 24 pretty much all over the back bumper of the 72.
You can see Alan Young is already, like I said earlier, he's already working that second groove. A lot of drivers still trying to work right on the yellow line, but he, at least in 3 and 4, was working a higher groove there. Caution on the speedway.
Out.
Oh, you can see the 44 machine, Tom Gianni, in the grass on the front straightaway. Let's go back and try to see what that was all about.
There was a pile up down on the front straightaway. The 77 looks to have been one of the first cars to go around.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what caused all that.
There was a power move by the 77, and then the 2 got into him there right after the crossover was made. That got the 77 all sorts of loose.
Oh, wow.
41 got clipped, and then the 44 just kind of came in afterwards.
Yeah, the 44 got hit by, I'm not sure who that was. I'm going to go back and
44
look.
took,
Oh my.
he got hit by the 10.
10, yeah.
Couple of really hard impacts in that one.
Yeah, the 10 was just going to the outside, and the 44 just pulled up right in front of him. Travis had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was a dirt track slide job if I've ever seen it at Richmond International. 77 just dove it in there, and the crossover didn't necessarily work for him. But here we are on pit road on lap number 46 yet again.
Everybody coming down pit road, as I think we would all expect after that around 15-20 lap run. And Eckrich wins the race off pit road. It looks like Nicholas Cohan got the 2nd position out of the 55 of Yazek.
John Kennedy in the 89 stayed out, is slow on the back straightaway right now. Not sure what that's all about, if he has no power at the moment. But While he gets sorted out, we will go back to the front where we find Scott Eckrich in the 88 back in the lead right now. And then, as Evan said, Nicholas Cohen in the in the 57 has got himself to the second position. Maybe a top 10 rundown while we have the moment. Eckrich is the leader, Cohen in second, Brian Yazik in the 55 in the third spot. Then we have Drew Carroll in fourth, Ty Hester in fifth, Jonathan Holstein in sixth, Michael Krobik in seventh, and then Devin Serra, Alan Young, and Jared Mogard, the top 10 here as we approach lap number 50 in a few laps.
Just about a quarter of the way through this race. Coming up here in about 3 laps.
So we're on our third caution of the race here for 13 caution laps so far. Does look like out front, at least from what we've seen in the infant stages of this race, that the 88 is the fastest car by a tiny bit, but the 55 of Yazik is definitely not any slouch, but this is the highest we've seen the 57 tonight, so let's see what he can do now that he has the track position.
As the lights go out on the pace car, one more lap till we get back under the green flag.
'88 to the inside, 57 to the outside, and then row 2 we have the 55 and the 85, so let's see what happens here. We've noticed the inside lane by far is the preferred groove, at least on the restarts. Let's see if the 57 can break that trend and get a pretty good start to the outside as we enter turn number 3, about to get this race back underway.
These guys stacked up, doubled up, ready for the green flag once again. Evan, why don't you take us away for this restart?
All right, pace car getting ready to pull down pit road. It does now, just waiting on the 88 of Eckrich. He gets on the throttle. We are back underway here at Richmond.
The 88 with another good jump off the restart. He sails away down into turn number 1.
55 with a dive.
Oh, contact back for, I believe, 5th.
That was Ty Hester rather, in the 72 machine, I believe, of the 70 of Holstein. A little bit of contact made there. Everybody goes wide, but we have 3 wide a little bit further back.
3 wide back around the 15th position. That's all kind of clearing up now.
As we said, everyone is taking full advantage of these restarts, gaining the positions while they're right in front of you. Also a pretty dangerous spot to be in as the 40 is on the inside right now.
Almost about lost it down off turn number 2. He had to crank the wheel to try to avoid the car up above him. Almost over-rotated on exit.
That's Woody Mahan in the 40 trying to get by Rick Thompson in the 92, but Thompson's really surging on the top there, diving in, trying to stay side by side. I think Woody will get it off turn number 2, not quite. And again, the 92 staying side by side with him. A little bit further up, we have Holstein on the outside, Serra to the inside.
Oh, contact, the 90 machine almost going around between him and the 16. Almost went around off turn number 4 there. He manages to save it.
Yeah, the 90, he's been getting beat up on it. That's the second time I've seen him get hit.
Jeff Ward in the 90 machine. Right now he has the 22 of Mark Emerson to his outside, trying to get a run off turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Let's see if the 22 could dive it in and get side by side in 1 and 2.
The 90 gets his nose chopped off by the 16. He tried to pull a power move down into turn number 1. Didn't happen at the time by. He's still in a battle with the 22 machine.
Looks like the 22 might clear now out of number 4. He does. Now the 40 is kind of looking to the 90s outside, trying to get there. It's not quite close enough.
That all clears out. You're not missing anything up front. Eckrich in the 88 has pulled out to almost a 3/4 second lead over Yazik at the moment. Right now the best battle on the track is what we've been following, about 13th through 16th positions.
The 90 machine tried to pull a move underneath the 22 once again, and maybe going to try it again this time by. Not going to get anything out of it.
Sam Maxwell on the outside groove right now. He has Danny Rogers, who's dropped back to the 18th position. Maxwell in 17th on the outside. Let's see who prevails out of that situation as they come off turn number 4, completely door-to-door, nose-to-nose. Looks like Maxwell will get the run on the outside. 0-2 really dives in pretty deep. Still staying side by side here for a couple laps.
Almost 3 wide. They were 3 wide going down in the corner there. 0-0 down onto the apron. He lifted off the gas.
Yeah, Mogard.
Looks like he's having internet connection issues.
And he's dropping back, trying to stay out of any kind of...
The 16 shoves the 22 up the racetrack. Now he loses a ton of positions. Contact, door slamming all through this this little group here.
Steve Ritter in the 16 was the one that apparently caused that contact. He has moved up to the 11th position.
And that has put the 22 back to 13th. Will the 22, if he gets back up there, will he try and get a little bit of revenge?
If that was me, I wouldn't be too happy with that move either, but 22 looks like he's fallen back into the clutches of the 40 machine now.
Yeah, right now Woody Mahan in the 40 is trying to take a look to underneath of Mark Emerson in 1 and 2. Looks like that outside is starting to come in. The guys on the inside have not been able to hold as many runs, so we'll watch that for later on. And
now the 90 machine up ahead, ducking underneath the 16. This is for a position.
Whoa!
Almost contact, chops his nose off.
Shut the door there on the 16, just absolutely slid up. Everything works out, but I don't think the 16 was too happy about that, as he now has to deal with Mark Emerson to the outside.
And then right behind him is going to be the 40 that he moved out of the way, I believe that was.
Now it's second verse, same as the first. 22 machine back above the 16. It looks like they're going to keep it clean.
Intense racing here from about 10th on back.
16 slides up the track again, almost makes contact again with the 22.
Based on what I'm
going to that side.
Based on what I'm seeing, guys, I really think that inside is starting to get wore out. It seems like everyone's having trouble keeping their groove there on the inside. Is the 40 going to force a 3 wide? Almost did. Thought he was going to take a peek, but he is now to the outside of the 16 and trying to take a look to the outside of the 22.
16 times it down in there, almost makes contact with both of those drivers that time. Close racing here. Couple of guys getting up into the wall. The 40 machine looking to take another position away.
27 of Jordan Ashland gets by Devin Serra. That was a battle for the 7th position that has already ended. And then we go back to Jeff Ward in the 90 and Jonathan Holstein in the 70. This is for the 10th and 11th position. Ward on the inside trying to make it happen. He will. I think Holstein just let him go.
Still racing back here for the 13th position. The 22 and the 40 still going at it. 40 up on the high side, 22 down low. They're going to be side by side.
And then Rick Thompson in the 92, where does he go? Looks like he's going to go to the outside as the 22 got loose, kind of left the door wide open, so move Rick Thompson to the 13th position. Emerson drop it back a little bit further. Again, back to the front.
Yeah, we got a battle forming for second with the 57 of Cohan and the 55 of Yazik.
And I can say Echrich's lead has kind of shrunk a little bit. It was 3/4 of a second. Now it's only about a little over half. So I think these guys maybe have saved their tires better and may be taking a stab at them.
Cohan is running a lot higher than both of these drivers. He's running up in the second groove, and that's really helping him. He got a huge run out of turn 2, right to the back corner of the 55 of Yazik.
On board with the 57, you could see him utilizing the second lane here through 3 and 4. That gives him the surge as the 55 got loose. He's going to get right to the back bumper of Yazik in the 55. Again, taking it all the way up top to the second groove. And watch the run he gets. Actually didn't really get it that time off turn 2.
As soon as we start talking about it, he stops doing it.
Cohan is still really trying to work that higher groove. I don't know. I think it's starting to get there. Oh, it really got there that time. He got a heck of a run, but I don't think he's as good at 3 and 4 as the 55, and he kind of loses it.
He stayed pretty even there in 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. Let's see what he can do in 1 and 2.
And is this going to be a call for the 55 to maybe change his lineup? If he could see what Cohan's doing,
Cohen got a huge run out of 2. He's looking to the inside into 3 and 4.
Side by side now down through turns number 3 and 4, heading onto the front straightaway. 55 has the advantage up on the high side though.
Looks like the inside is just starting to get rubbered up now. I'm not really sure why the 55 is still running down there. I would think with him looking in his rearview mirror, seeing what the 57 of Cohen's able to do, he would run up there.
And this has allowed the 88 of Eckrich to pull out a couple more tenths, but it was down to a half-second lead. It's back up to 3/4 of a second, pushing 8 tenths, so he's liking what he's seeing in this battle for second. Cohen takes a stab at it on the inside in turn number 1 and 2. Didn't quite drive it in deep enough, but he'll try to get the runoff exit on the inside.
This is also bringing up the 85 of Drew Carroll up there with him. He's running the same line as Cohen, as the 55 of Yazek is starting to move up as well.
Trying to play a little bit of defense, maybe see if it'll actually help him on the offense as well. And you can kind of see in the long shot here, these top 4 have pulled up quite the margin on 5th place Ty Hester. As the 85's off turn 2, you could see Ty Hester just now coming on the back straightaway, so these guys really kind of spreading out in the top 5.
We got a battle going on for 9s between the 24 Young and the 90 of Jeff Ward. Ward looking to the inside of Young, down into turn number 1. Young will let him go. That battle has ceased.
Yep, move Ward as he's been picking some spots up left and right here very methodically. He moves up to the 9th position. Alan Young back to 10th. We'll go back away. Steve Ritter in the 17. Umbrier in the 16th, in the 17th position. Easy enough for me to say. He lost a spot right here, and Jason Stewart behind him.
One thing I want to point out, Jeff Ford started back in the last position, 36, and he's made his way up to 9th. Really good drive by him in just 75 laps.
Yeah, he has definitely been the up 27 positions on our mover comer and goers graphic. 27 of Jordan Ashland, up 12 spots thus far. So a couple guys really making their progress through the field here as we're on lap number 76, coming to lap number 77.
The battle for second is still on. 57 right to the back bumper of the 55.
57 looking to the outside. Can't quite do anything yet.
55 taking the 57's line away from him, causing the 57 to take it up even a little bit higher on the racetrack. But here comes another friend, Drew Carroll. He's right into the mix, and he's also running that upper line with these 2 drivers up ahead of him.
The 85 trying to play catch up now, is trying to make it 3 cars under a blanket, trying to join the party.
I think the 57 is the quickest of these 3 cars, but he just cannot get around the 55 as the 55 gets really loose out of 4. 57 going down to the inside in 3 and 4.
Power move down to the bottom of the racetrack that time. By not going to make anything happen. He slides up the racetrack, almost makes contact with the 55.
57 of Cohen wheeling that machine on the inside, got a little loose off 4, but he's doing the best he can on that inside groove, which has kind of faded away. 55 of Yazek to the outside off of turn number 2, holding his line, keeping that momentum. 57 is going to have to power into 3. He does just that.
55 is going to get a really good run out of 4. It looks like he will clear into turn number 1.
Clearly, it is getting quite difficult to pass here at Richmond International Raceway as we're about 35 laps into this run. Tires fading away, track rubbering in. These drivers are going to have to do the best they can, come up with new ways to get around these guys they're trying to pass.
The 57 of Cohen and the 55 are both moving back down to the bottom, which the 85 is still running in the middle, so I think that's helping him.
The more drivers that run the top will heat up. What's that going to do? That's going to cool off the inside. As we can say, the dynamic track is definitely living up to its name. You're going to have to really search around this track, see where the grip is, see where the grip has been lost. 57 has lost a little bit of time. He'll get himself regrouped together and take another stab at it.
The leader has kind of moved it up to the second lane, but another thing to point out, he's coming up on lap traffic. He's got about 4 cars in front of him, just probably 2 seconds in front of him, if that.
And we're early enough in this race. These drivers are not just going to roll over and play dead. And I'm expecting them to do the best they can to stay on the lead lap and at best stay in lucky dog position. So let's see if this indeed brings the field together, brings second, third, and fourth back into it.
Oh, 57 almost goes around down the back straightaway. He manages to save it, but now he's got company from the 85.
Yeah, he just got a little bit loose out of turn number 2. Actually, he got a lot of it loose out of 2. Real nice job to save it, and it looks like he got onto the position.
Did Cohan maybe use up his stuff trying to get around the 55 and maybe has nothing left, and this might be the opportunity for Drew Carroll?
Well, he was able to get back to the back bumper of the 55 machine, and I think he kind of overdrove it out off the corner, and it got him loose. The wheel was cranked over to left, got him loose, shot the car back down low.
Yeah, I think he saw an opportunity to get to the outside of the 55 and just went for it.
But here comes Scott Geckert. He's now into traffic. First one on the checklist is going to be the 77 machine, Alex Giese.
We'll just let him go.
See some significant damage on the 77. He's definitely not going to put up too much of a fight. But the 5 machine is in better condition, the 5 of Scott Haller. Let's see how much of a fight, if he is able to put up any at all.
Battle for second place once again. The 57 almost to the back bumper of the 55. Now right on the back bumper of the 55 machine.
57 is been behind the 55 for so long. Will he use the bumper,
or will he use a lap? Or will he use a lap car as a pick? That is also on the table, as they both got funneled in behind the 77.
Uses the bumper.
He puts the bumper to him. They both slide on the racetrack that time. By now off turn number 4. He ducks to the outside.
57 looking to the outside of the 55 of Yazik.
He's doing the best he can to stay as clean as he can, but you know the patience is starting to fade out. I think this may be one of the better runs he's had thus far, as we have some...
it's right on the back stretch. No caution.
Scott Smith.
Caution flag into the air.
It's the 27, I believe.
21 of Scott Smith, and we'll see who the other driver is.
66 machine also involved in that. 2 cars piled up against the inside wall. The 22 was also involved in that.
Edward Bray and the 21 made contact, and then the 22 got a little bit of damage from that, and that caused the 66 and the 21 hard into the inside concrete on the back straightaway.
Yeah, it looks like the 66, I don't know if he just didn't know the 21 was still up there, or that they were 3 wide, or what.
I think they both may have got a little nervous trying to squeeze down the track, but perhaps just squeeze a little bit too much. But regardless of that, caution's out. Nearing the halfway point, and everyone to pit road.
Looks like all the lead lap cars on pit road.
Expect 4 tires and fuel, and some damage fixed, I'm sure, late ladder in the field. Let's see who gets the best of the pit stops.
Cohan and Yazik both get by our leader of Egrich.
Egrich had almost a 16-second stop and a 14.2 for Yazik, so... Then Cohan, I didn't quite catch that, but obviously it was quite faster. Cohan with a 14.4, so again, not a good stop for the 55. That's going to put him back to the 4th position, I do believe. Scott Haller stayed out the first time by, but he comes to pit road at the 5, so he will relinquish that position. So the 57, who was doing his best to gain 2nd on the prior run, now has himself P1.
Yeah, and being able to get by the 55 just when he did, it's definitely going to help that.
In a couple positions change on pit lane tonight, so that may be the place where some passes are made that cannot be made on the racetrack. We all know sometimes it's easier to have your pit crew do the work than to have you do it on the racetrack. It seems to be the case tonight, and the 57 will be grateful for that event happening.
Lights are still on, so it should be about 2 more laps till we get back to the green.
And we will take this chance to step away very quickly, so just grab yourself a drink. We're going to step away for just a moment, be right back for the restart. Stay with us. And we're back here on PTR TV as we are on the back straightaway. Pace car has turned the lights off. 57 and the 88 will get this race underway. 57 has chosen the outside on this restart. Actually, no, I lied. He was running the outside. He drops back to the bottom, so he will start the race on the inside lane. 55 of Jacek to his outside. Pace car has pulled in. We wait for the green flag. And there it is, back underway, and quite a slow restart, a little bit of a checkup at the 57. It sneaks out by a couple car lengths.
Yeah, no one really anticipated that one. Looks like the 8 of Ekridge will get by the 55 of Jacek.
Already making some time up from his horrible pit stop that he did have, so let's see what he can do with the 57. If the 57 has anything to lead this race with, or if the 88 is just going to get by right away.
Well, Cohan really didn't come in to where he was really that fast until about 25-30 laps into that run. We'll see what he can do now in the short run with that clean air.
And I don't think it's going to be very much, because here comes Ekridge already to the back bumper. Took a little bit of a look onto the inside in 1 and 2. Nothing doing that time by, but you can tell he's already going forward. He wants that lead back. As we have Michael Krobach racing right now for the 6th position. He had Jeff Ward get around him, the 20 of Devin Serra trying to get around him as they're sacked up for about 6th on back.
Jeff Ward is doing such an amazing job inside that race car. He's up, what, at like 31 positions now?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him.
It's not even halfway yet.
Not sure what happened to him in qualifying, but obviously he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's now in the top 5. Yeah, who knows, with a couple more laps, couple more cautions, he might be right back. He might be in the lead.
He's obviously showing a lot of speed in that race car right now, and he's can't come all the way from the back of the field and see if he can put up something for these leaders.
The battle for the lead is kind of stabilized a little bit, but as I say that, a bit different of a line choice for the 88. Tried running the bottom, didn't quite work for him.
Yeah, the 57 is trying to run a little bit higher now. This is the earliest I think we've seen anyone do it in a run. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Even though they are on the new tires, obviously the inside is just that hot, that rubbered in at this point, that even on the new tires, he wants to run the top. But in 3 and 4, he does choose to run right on the white line, the yellow line rather. So he's doing a pretty good job holding Ekridge off. It was pretty tight for the first couple laps, but he may be getting into a rhythm.
The 88 trying to dive down low this time by. This is a battle for the lead. 57 gets it a little bit loose. Now down into turn number 3. The 88 dives it down in on the high side.
88 looking to the outside as cross flags are in the air halfway here at Richmond. 88 down, diving it down into 1. Don't know if we'll be able to hold that with the 57 going to be able to get a really good run out of 2.
They both get a little bit loose off the corner. The 88 wasn't able to hold it, but a power move, dive bomb down into turn number 3.
He tries holding it.
Cleared now.
He tried holding it on the inside, just not enough momentum down there. So again, Cohan will make it work on the outside. He has the momentum built up. He has the better arc. 88 is really bogged down, and it's going to take some work to pull it off.
He was able to hold a little bit of ground that time off of turn number 2. Now off turn number 4, he's going to lose it. That time off the low side.
And just while all this battling has gone on, we have eclipsed the halfway point, lap 103 of 200. So we're on the second half of the race as we speak. And Cohan is hanging on for dear life for the lead, 88 in hot pursuit.
Yeah, I really like what Cohan is doing, running the defensive line, right in that middle. It's going to make it really hard for anyone to get by him.
And while this is going on, Jacek in the 55, he's not fallen off and played dead. He is doing his best to get right back to it. Drew Carroll right behind him. And the comeback kid of the race, Jeff Ward, in the 5th position right now. We'll bring up the lap graphic right now. We'll see who is the fastest of the leaders on the racetrack right now. And we'll give that prize to the 88, but not by very much. Him and the 57, pretty much identical last time by.
88 is definitely the faster car, but he just cannot get around the 57 at Cohan yet.
Scott Holler in the 5. He's a slower car up front, 6 laps down. We'll see if he has any effect whatsoever. It all depends where the leaders do end up catching him. If they catch him on corner exit, it may be a little interesting.
Looks like they're going to catch him on the straightaway or entering 3.
Holler goes right to the outside wall, doing the best he can.
Caution is out.
Caution on the speedway.
Ty Hester in the 36. Remember, Hester was, he had a really good run. He was in the top 10 for the majority of this race. Let's go back and see what happened to him.
Him and the 20 machine making contact down off turn number 2. He gets turned to the outside wall, spins it down the back straight away. Nobody else was involved, but it was enough to bring out the caution.
Sarah on the top. Looks like the 36 thought he was clear, or just kind of pushed up hoping he was going to be clear. Not quite the case. Sarah didn't budge. That turned him into the fence.
But once again, if he doesn't have engine damage, I think he's fine with this being a short track.
Yeah, as long as the wheels are pointing straight and there's still full power under the hood, you can obviously live with a little bit of crumpled up fenders, but everybody will come to pit lane. It was a kind of a short stint, but everyone still does come to pit lane. Let's see what the strategy is going to be.
We saw the 88 pit crew lose him a couple spots. We'll see if they can kind of redeem themselves here. And they do.
Yep, so Eckrich finally gets the benefit of the doubt there. And I can tell you from my end right now, they did have identical pit stops, 14.4s for each of the 57 and the 88. But through the nature
getting in and out of stalls can really help. And having that first pit stall always helps as well.
So again tonight, we are bringing you the American Sim Racing Series hashtag Back to Cup 200 here at the Richmond International Raceway, the ASRS Premier Cup Series, brought to you by Twitchy Race Reports. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We're going to have a full season of coverage with these guys, 41 races combined with their Cup Series. On the off weeks, we'll be bringing you their Truck Series, dual seasons going on. Every race will be every Tuesday night here on PTR TV all the way up till the end of 2018. So if you like these guys, like you're seeing, make sure you come and join us every single week as the 88.
He's got a speeding penalty, I do believe.
Oh my goodness. That's how we were wondering where he had the same exact pit stop time, how he got out in the lead.
Yeah, he's got a speeding penalty.
Well, he didn't do it by legal means, so that is huge.
So that's gonna let Cohan keep the lead and move the fastest car to the back.
So he'll have about 85-ish laps to go from what is about the 22nd position back to the front. That is going to be a feat, and I cannot wait to see it.
Well, we've seen Jeff Ward do it. It took him 100 laps, but he did it. He's up to third now. And
the 88 has taken it back to pit lane. I think he just for the heck of it, decided to put 4 fresh tires on.
Yeah, you're going to be in the back no matter what. Might as well come down and just top off. As the lights are out on the pace car, 57 of Cohan will be leading the field back to the green, 55 of Yazek.
And Evan, you just put something in my head I don't think I've even considered yet. What is the fuel load tonight?
It's usually around 80 to 110 laps, I think.
But are we running full fuel cells is my question.
Yes, we are.
All right, so fuel strategy won't come in the mix, I don't believe. I think 90 laps is well in the realm for everybody, so let's see what the restart's made of. Here we come.
Pace car pulling down into pit road, waiting on Cohan to get this thing back under green. He does.
Very slow.
Outside lane.
Big check up.
Outside lane did not get going there.
Nobody really got going for that matter. And here comes
damage for a lot of these guys, possible, and engine damage for a lot of these guys.
And who's in second position? Moneyman Jeff Ward at P2.
Last to second. Only took him 112 laps.
He's up 33, should be 34 positions on the race for the 90 machine.
That's just impressive right there.
Absolutely it is, and now look at what position he's attempting to go for. He's looking for the lead.
Can he make the last to first?
He's cut me off, guys, but we do have a gaggle of activity going on in the spots we've been following all race in the back of the top 10 right now. Danny Rogers, Jonathan Holstein, the 44, really loose on the front straightaway. Tom Gianni.
The 44 drifts up the racetrack a little bit, almost contact with a 22 machine. Now the 82 and, well, the 82 and the 11 were side by side. That clears up now.
Sam Maxwell behind them in the 98. You can see a little bit of crumpled fenders on him as he gets to the outside of Gianni here in the 44.
88's on pit road. I think he got a stop and go penalty.
My, oh my, that's going to hurt him big time.
That is most likely going to be the race unless some radical turn of events happen. So horrid turn of events for the 88. Throws his amazing race away, fastest car on the track. But this gives it to Nicholas Cohan, but don't look too far back because Ward, remember, he's started nearly last. Let's see what he can do as he's in second.
Jeff Ward, we know he has a lot of speed in that race car. It's just a matter of can he get back up to the lead.
He has Yazek in the 55. Yazek has been up front for a good portion of the race, indeed of those 24 laps, but he's been in the top 3 for pretty much the entire 117 laps around this Richmond International Raceway. And Drew Carroll trying to get underneath Michael Krobek in the 72. Took a look to the inside 3 and 4, nothing doing.
57 looking at a higher line that time by. Looks to have maybe have worked for him. The bottom groove just, I don't think it's there anymore, guys. I think the second groove is prevailing.
Yeah, with 120 laps now on the bottom, that's really going to wear it out.
Tight racing, guys, back again in the latter 20s right now. We have Brad Cross and Steve Buhala. They're going pretty hectic for the 19th and 20th spot. 30 drives in and really deep to clear for the position. Then a little bit further ahead is 2x2x2, it looks like. 20 of Sarah trying to get underneath Maxwell, while the 92 of Thompson is underneath the 44 of Gianni.
Maxwell gets a little bit loose there up on the high side. Gonna keep it going strong, however. They're still gonna be side by side down here through the corner.
We haven't said the name Jim Foose yet tonight. Remember, he was in the championship 4 at Homestead in the Truck Series last season. He's back in 19th position. You see he has some heavy damage. He's missing the bumper cover on that 42 machine as he has Brad Cross to his inside. Side by side, that is for 19th and 20th positions. Oh, and the 36.
Oh, wrecked down the back straightaway. 36 goes around once again.
And somebody got a little bit of a lick from that. Let's go back out yet again on PTR replay, see if we could see what happened to Ty Hester yet again.
Looks like it was the exact same thing.
Yeah, the exact same incident. Second verse,
oh my
same
God.
as the first.
Carbon copy, but a different car involved. And then somebody, I think, same exact thing. Somebody else kind of got a little bit of a kiss from it as he tried getting himself.
It's the 89 of John Kennedy.
And here we are. Pit road is yet to be a busy place yet again.
And we know from here they definitely will be able to make it on fuel.
And you can see Ward with his starting position has a very early pit stall on pit lane. Cohan obviously is going to have to go all the way to the other half of pit lane as he started much higher in the grid.
Yeah, Ward's already done with his stop as there's still 2 cars waiting to get to their pit stalls.
As Ward comes through, let's see. Oh, Cohan will get out pretty easily. Michael Krobek behind him in the 72.
Ward back to third, but I really don't know if that's going to be too bad for him.
Yeah, he's going to be on the inside lane, which we know is the money spot on the restart, so I would actually take where he is over being in second. Kind of similar to another short track, Martinsville. There's always a lot of shenanigans going on at the end of pit lane just to try to be on the inside groove.
It's like about 3 cars taking the wave around, trying to get 1 lap back, or 2 cars. The 88 is one of them. He's going to be back to only 1 lap down now.
So that
and
is...
the only car 1 lap down.
So that is a pretty good scenario. I think that yellow flag kind of saved Eckrich a little bit with the second pit stop he had to make.
So if he gets 1 caution, as soon as they get back to the green, he'll be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, because Ty Hester is in pit lane. He's also being scored a lap down, but we also have Jared Mogard right now in the 00. Technically scored 1 lap down at the moment. Yeah, Mogard is ahead of Eckrich, so Mogard is in the lucky dog spot, so Eckrich will have to try to get around him, but when he waves around, he shouldn't be too far away from Mogard.
And we know almost for sure that he is faster.
Almost for sure?
Yes.
Not for sure. Almost.
Not almost.
For sure.
Almost for sure.
English is hard on this channel.
But there is no
Very
SAP
hard.
function. We will not have a Spanish interpretation. Apologies for that.
As the lights go out on the pace car, going to be coming back to the green, and once again, 57 of Cohan on the inside, 55 of Yazik on the outside.
74 to go. It'll be 73 this time by. The race is closing very quickly right now. So these drivers will have to make their moves, get themselves in position as this race winds down. I'm sure the yellow flag's not done coming out.
Pace car getting ready to pull down onto pit road. We saw the outside lane get really stacked up last time. We'll see it this time as we wait for the 57 of Cohan. We are back underway
These guys
here.
stack it up once again. Almost a big checkup once again down the front straightaway in the restart.
85.
Oh,
Oh,
the
it's
40 up into the
contact.
wall.
Woody
On the
Mahan.
outside wall, these guys stacking it up down the back straightaway. 3, 4, even 5 wide, trying to get it sorted out.
Mahan in the 40s all the way up top as the 22 machine of Emerson to the inside. The 20 of Sarah gets by. That was a 3-wide scenario. Looks like that has fizzled out, but again, these restarts have been really hectic with drivers not get going at all in the outside groove.
These guys still kind of stacked up. Now the 20 machine trying to take a position away from the 16 back here. The low line not going to move. They make contact out of a turn number 4.
Here comes
Got a battle going on for second with the 90 of Jeff Ward and the 55 of Yazik.
yeah, Yazik did a pretty good job at least holding the second position on the outside lane on the restart, so Ward's going to have to do his best to get around him. Remember, Ward was ahead of Yazik before the yellow flag rather.
So they're coming up on the lap car, the 89 of John Kennedy.
And Kennedy's
not in front end.
Will he be on the apron? Yes, he will stay on the apron. He will almost hit the pit wall, but he did evade that. As we go back yet again, I think the money positions have been the latter half of the top 10. The 89 running the low groove here. He's going to throw all the drivers from 10th on back, running the outside to get around him.
30 of Brad Krutz got really loose out of turn number 2 and almost into the 22 and a 3.
And Danny Rogers side by side with Devin Serra. I feel like these drivers have been around each other all race. This is for 7th and 8th positions as Serra on the inside in the 20. Will he be able to clear? Not quite.
Rogers going to clear, but 20 of Sarah fighting back as the 02 drove it in a little bit too hard into 3 and almost into the wall.
Yeah.
20 clears.
Pushing the Larson line for the 02. Not quite there yet, but he did actually get a pretty decent run down the front straightaway, but nothing doing. And 1 and 2 drops back a couple car lengths, so Sarah gets some breathing room.
Looks like most of the field single file right now, but don't count this battle out. Yeah, the 20 and the 02 still trying to trade positions. Looks
like Sarah is starting to pull away a little bit. And up front, Cohan has himself a half-second lead. We'll bring up the battle tracker as they hit the stripe. We'll see if indeed he is faster or if Jacek is holding pace. A 21.44 to a 21.50, so Cohan is about half a tenth faster.
Just one thing to point out, Scott Eckrich is in the lucky dog position, so if a caution comes out right now, he would be back on the lead lap.
But he's all the way back in 24th position, and I mean, we have to imagine the yellow is going to come out, but the later it comes out, the less chance he has to get back to maybe the top 10 or top 5 even, so he's going to have to hope for something coming up pretty shortly.
And they're going to be coming up on lap traffic here fairly soon. They're about a straightaway behind the next car.
But I'll tell you, back in about the 12th to 16th position. Oh, contact. 70 a Holstein into the back of Maxwell. Big carnage at turn 4. That'll be the caution he needs.
Not
or will it?
Yet.
Or will it?
No caution.
How is that not a yellow? I have absolutely no idea how that was not a yellow flag. Let's take a look. Holstein just got into the back and just turned him.
Yeah, the 82 machine.
No idea.
Man.
That was the yellow. Was the where was the flag guy on that one? Absolutely no idea. But we stay green.
I think it's because the 82 just kind of...
He was sideways. He was backwards, spun out off turn 4.
Yeah, it definitely should have registered a caution. Race control not going to throw one that time by, however. But we stay clean and green. Well, not clean, but we are green.
It seems like race control just doesn't like Eckrich. They don't want him to get. Don't want him to get the lucky dog.
iRacing automated race control apparently developing a mind of its own.
Or maybe they're off in the hot dog stand or something, but they're falling asleep. Not the break Eckrich needed, but Cohan is carrying on here. Nearly a second lead now on Jacek.
As there's a fight going on for third between the 90 of Jeff Ford, who currently holds the position, and the 72 of Michael Krobach.
And Drew Carroll trying to get by the 72 of Krobach here. He's right to the back bumper of him off turn number 4, but we know how worn in the track is. Passing is quite difficult. See the 85 tried running a lower line through 1 and 2, just cannot hold it down there, just with the lack there of grip, but he is trying it because he has to do something different. 72 running the defensive line in the second groove, but see, he got the momentum and pulls away just a bit.
Looks like the 85 of Carroll is a little bit better in the center of the corner, but the 72 can just get a better run off.
The 11 machine right now, Jason Stewart, last season's truck champion, to the inside of Brad Cross in the 30. That's for the 12th position. And then right behind him is Holstein, who was kind of involved in that last situation. See, Holstein got a pretty good run off of 4, trying to get a run on Stewart. Nothing doing that time. Currently have 25 drivers, I do believe, no, less than that rather, 21 drivers on the lead lap at the moment here on lap number 144. Out of 36 who started the race, we still have, I believe it to be 28 cars on the racetrack.
Cohan is getting pretty close to catching the first car, or the last car on the lead lap. 43 of Steve Valhalla. He's about a half straightaway behind them.
Well,
and as soon as he gets by him, that's going to take Eckrich out of the lucky dog position.
Yeah, right now, Eckrich, right now, he is in 22nd position, and he is coming off of turn number 2, but the next car to go a lap down is in turn number 1. So Eckrich is quite some distance back right now. And Cohan is only about a straightaway behind, not even that.
So Eckrich needs that caution, and he needs it now.
Go on board here with Cohan, kind of show you how it is to drive this Richmond Raceway, as this race is pretty well progressed right now. Comes off the off turn 2, a little bit loose off the back straightaway, has to be a little timid. Enters turn number 3, very scarce, enters about mid-groove, cuts it low off corner exit. See, he doesn't even get fully on the throttle till about the start-finish line. A little bit of smoke ahead of him. that was one of the oh, Cohen really loose off turn 2 that time.
Yeah, he is starting to come up on some lap traffic, but most of these drivers are already a lap down. Except for actually the second car in front of him, 43 Bahala is the last car on the lead lap.
Buhala will want to stay on the lead lap as long as possible in case the yellow does fly, but it does look like he may be a little timid right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does let him go.
Looks like the 5 is going to be letting him go, the 5 of Scott Holler. And the 43 is letting him go, so that's going to take Eckrich out of the lucky dog position.
43 just running the inside. Looks like he is just trying to turn some laps at this point. Maybe not happy with the handling, or perhaps some damage affecting the handling of that machine, the 43.
And 50 laps to go. Looks like Brian Yazek is starting to catch back up to the 57 of Cohan just a little bit.
Lap traffic may be playing an effect in this battle right now when the 90 machine is starting to catch the 55, I believe.
Yeah, let's see on the battle tracker this time by between the second and third cars. Yazek with a 21.9, Ward with a 22.1, so give the advantage to the 55. The gap between them is about 4/10. But let's go reference the lead, and still Cohan faster by just about 100th of a second. Let's see what it is this time by 1/10 of a second that last lap.
But Cohan's coming up on a few, or actually quite a few more lapped cars. But there's a battle for second as the 90 of Jeff Ward is all over the back bumper of the 55 of Yazek.
Jeff Ward in the 90. Remember, he has moved up higher in this race than anybody's, from nearly last to third position. 55, a little bit of wiggle off turn number 2, but holds his momentum, so the 90 didn't really gain too much. Dives it in low. Looks like he actually lost a little bit of time in that dive to the bottom.
These guys trying to hang on to the race cars right now. Looks like the 55 drifts up just a little bit. Tries cutting it low on corner exit, but the 90 with a good run down the back straightaway. Yeah,
I was just going to say the 55 looks like he's pulling away, but the 90 is cut right back up to him.
And the 57 is in deep lap traffic right now, just past the 44 machine of Tom Gianni, I believe that is. So let's see if this helps them gain any kind of lead back, second and third onto Cohan. '77 up and out of the groove. Might have cost Ward a little bit as he had cranked the wheel a little bit harder to get lower off turn number 4, but the gap still remains pretty similar between the two of them.
And the 57 is definitely getting slowed down in the traffic he is in.
Now the 55 and the 90 got to go to do the same thing. The 44 chopped the nose off of the 55 machine. That's going to play an effect of the speed there. He had to check up.
But the 90 has yet to get by. He just gets by now, so the lead, well, the gap between the two didn't really change too much, but they have a side-by-side battle ahead of them. 25 and the 21. It'll cause the 55 to go to the top. Let's see what it does off corner exit as the 21's in the space the 55 wants to be in. Caution.
Caution in the air.
Steve Buhala slow on the back straightaway. Not sure if that was the cause of it.
The 43 around on the back straightaway.
He just got loose out of 2 and went around.
But that will not give the lucky dog to the 88. I believe Scott Smith in the 21 will be the beneficiary. You can see the 43 just getting loose. So does
Smith and Gianni are both in front of Eckrich. So I think Eckrich will stay out.
I was just going to say that. Does he play the desperation card and stay out, get the waiver on, and just pray for another quick yellow?
He's got nothing to lose.
Worst case, he goes another lap down within about 10 to 15 laps with the old tires, but best case, he gets a quick yellow and is right back in the thick of it, or at least able to gain some positions, maybe get back to the top 10 if he pushes. Cohan on pit lane right now, and he has a pretty good advantage over the 55 on pit lane, so I wouldn't really worry about him losing the pit road race.
Yeah, I think the only way he really could is if he way overshoots his box. Cohan does win the race off pit road. 55 of Yazek second and Ward third.
There goes Scott Smith getting the wave around.
Did the 88 stay out? It looks like he is going to stay out and take the wave around.
As Cohan comes off of turn number 4. Let's see if indeed 88 is ahead of him on the racetrack.
He is the third car in line behind the base car.
Yep, so 88 going for the desperation call there, but he really doesn't have any choice unless he wants to stay one lap down. He had to take a stab at it, so. Race summary here tonight thus far, as we have on lap number 161 out of 200. We've had 7 cautions for 31 laps, which all in all has been a pretty clean race. So 5 lead changes thus far, and kind of the big moment we've been talking about was Scott Eckrich, who's led 66 laps, but due to kind of back-to-back penalties he had probably about 50 or 60 laps ago at this point, has him on the tail end of the lead lap getting the wave around, but he's going to have, let's see, what is the gap on tires right now? 47 lap old tires? Oof.
Yeah, he's going to need a caution probably within about 5 laps.
He's going to have wheel spin. He's going to just not have, he's going to be sliding the nose, back end coming around. He's going to have fresher tires all around him. He's just really nothing going for him. He just, as you said, Evan, he needs an immediate caution.
So it should be about 37 laps to go once we take the green flag. 36. And familiar front row, 57 Cohan inside, 55 Yazek outside. That's how it's been for about the last 4 restarts.
So is it too early to say take your pick?
No, I don't think so.
57.
No, we could go green. Ward. Brendan, who are you taking?
Well, I'm gonna have to take.
Take 55. Why not?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna have to take the 55 machine on that one.
Pace car pulling down in the pit road. Wait on the 57 to get this thing back underway. And he does. We're back underway here at Richmond Raceway.
57 with a good restart that time by. It looks like everybody manages to keep it clean. But here comes Ward on the inside. The 90 machine with a power move down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Trying to get underneath Yazek down the back straightaway did not work. The 55 holds the momentum, but now Michael Krobik in the 72 underneath the 85, Drew Carroll. That's for the 4th and 5th positions. That battle clears out. Now we have Devin Serra underneath the 27 of Jordan Ashland. Give Serra the 6th position. I think this is the highest he's been.
40 of
Woody Mahan
just dove it underneath the 27.
Forced Ashland up the track a little bit, but he was not able to get the position. Ashland's holding justice, but 40 is, I think he's driving a little too deep, but he's doing what he has to do.
A lot of beat up race cars through the field tonight, guys, and that's a result of the short track action going on here tonight.
Cohan up front, not missing anything. He's already up to a half second over Yazek. But Ward is doing the best he can to get to Yazek's bumper, maybe get into the 2nd position.
Now I wonder with Cohan running this hard to begin with, if he's going to burn his tires up.
Yeah, good
About
point.
32 laps to go, so you really don't want to burn your tires up right now.
Let's just kind of get a little reference on the 88 of Eckrich. He's already dropped back to the tail end naturally, but I guess he hasn't dropped Tech 2 back. He's 8 seconds back. We're about 22 seconds around this place, so he can really only hang on for about maybe 7, 8 laps before he's lapped down.
40, Woody Mahan is still trying to get by the 27. He's been trying to get by him since the restart.
As we said, the inside group, Woody drives it really deep into turn number 1 and 2.
Contact a little bit.
Little bit of door action going on now, down the back straightaway, down into turn number 3. The 27 machine kind of chops his nose off a little bit.
This brings Steve Ritter in the 16. He's closing in on the back of the 40 of Makeeng as he tried getting around the 27. Go a little bit further back, and that's where the action's been all race long. Brad Cross and Jason Stewart. Then right behind them is Rick Thompson. Here comes Cross to the inside of Stewart, entering turn number 1.
Side by side into 1 and 2 and off of it. Looks like he might clear the 11 down the back straightaway. As a 92 looking to the inside of the 11 as well.
Stewart dropping some spots here with 92 to the inside. Looks like he will relinquish the position, does Stewart, to move Thompson into 14th. Jim Foose trying to do what he can do behind him. Jim Foose underneath, who is that on the outside? That is the 98 of Sam Maxwell, who's not on the lead lap anymore after a couple incidents he was in.
Oh, just about contact between the 92 of Rick Thompson and the 30 of Brad Cross. Thompson is really trying to get by him.
Looks like almost 3 wide up ahead of them. Couple of cars getting loose almost all the way to the inside wall. Goes the 92 machine.
Side by side Holstein and the 22 of Emerson. Nothing doing there. 70 got loose, and now that brings, who is that? Brad Cross in the 30 to the outside of him. 92 took a look to the middle. Obviously nothing doing there.
Side by side, the 70 and the 30. Now down through the corner.
All the while, folks, 23 laps to go in this race. It is just ticking laps off at a very rapid pace. We'll take a peek up front, and we'll see that Cohan is out to almost a 1 second lead over Yazik right now. But the 90 is of Jeff Ward right to the bumper still of Yazik, has yet to find a way by.
I think Ward might be able to hang with Cohan if he can just get by Yazik.
At what point does Ward use the bumper to get into second position to maybe see if he has absolutely anything to chase down Cohan with?
And still the battle going on between the 70 and 92 for the 13th position. That battle has ceased now that we talk about it.
But Jim Foose is underneath Jason Stewart here off turn number 4, the 42 and the 11, and then Alan Young on the 24, just kind of scoping out behind him, seeing where he should go. Down the back.
Jeff Ward did get by the 55 of Yazik. Yazik's trying to fight back, will not be able to do so.
So that gives 20 to go for Jeff Ward. He has a 1.5 second gap. That's going to be quite the feat if no yellow comes out, but let's see what he can do.
Coming up on some lap traffic as well.
Lap traffic could have a play at the end of this race here, guys.
'57 of Cohan has led 91 laps, nearly half of this race will have been his if he does carry on for the lead for the remainder of the race. Let's just pull up the battle tracker, see what Jeff Ward's made of. 2174 to a 2173, so give it to Ward by 100th, but that's obviously not going to close the gap.
Yeah, but Cohan is now in traffic as he gets into the wall a little bit down the back straightaway. He's going to get by the 5 of Holler easily.
Next up is the 89 machine. That is John Kennedy. Obviously heavy damage, so I don't expect any issue from that. Ward has taken a 10th off. It is now under 1.4 seconds. Still, best battle on the track is between 10th and 15th position, if not even further than that. 0-2.
Oh,
contact. He turned him. He turned him.
Flag is into the air.
Oh my God.
Oh my, this plays a big effect at the end of this race.
What do we say?
The 0-2.
That changes everything.
Absolutely, it does. The 0-2 goes around. A little bit of help there going around.
I think 22 just got tired of battling with the 0-2 of Rogers and just turned him.
Oh boy. So these guys will go back under pace speed. Looks like gonna head down into pit road.
Cohan, with the position he was in, just has such a gap on these drivers on pit lane. He's kind of in a no-lose situation.
But now the drivers behind him are going to fight that much harder for the position, so with everyone being stacked back up, anything could happen at the end of this race.
Well, that was the caution that Eckertz needed, but it just came a little bit too late. He's going to be back in 20th with
somebody stayed
10 laps to
out.
go.
Jim Foose stayed out. Whether that's for a point or whether he's going to go for it, we will find out together.
We will find out. He's got about 27 laps on his tires, and he's missing a rear bumper cover, so I would think he'd be coming down pit road.
But if you think about it in a second sense, if there's a quick yellow,
He stayed out.
We're going to go green, guys, with probably about 11 to go, maybe 10. If there's a quick yellow, we'll kill 5 laps off of that. I mean, maybe that's what he's banking on, a couple quick yellows. Maybe we won't even have any more green flag racing.
But that's going to put Cohan into where no one wants to start this in second place.
He's going to be
so
on
that could cost him the win.
He's going to be on the outside with a driver with older tires, perhaps some wheel spin, perhaps a huge stack up. I mean, we might have a junkyard off turn 4 for all we know. Who knows?
Yeah, anything can happen, especially with how many laps these guys have run on these tires. So Jim Foose making a brave call up here, and that car's seen some better days. He doesn't even have a rear bumper cover on that vehicle.
Do we dare change our picks?
No.
I'm staying with Ward.
I'm staying with
staying with
Cohan.
90.
I'm a little nervous about the outside lane, but I'm still sticking with my boy Cohan.
So Jim Foose making a really brave call here at the end of this thing.
But really, his car looks fine except for not having a rear bumper cover.
Yeah, a little bit of
Everything
rear
else
end
on
damage,
that car is fine besides that.
That's really clean for a short track car, guys. Let's admit it.
Two drivers taking the wave around. John Kennedy and Scott Hall are both trying to get one of their laps back. So, Eckrich is coming back in 17th. There's no way to get that he could win, but he should be able to get
maybe
a top 10.
Yeah, he might top 10 if he gets massive calamity, but I don't even think that's going to be an easy task.
And the lights are out on the pace car. 42 of Jim Foose inside, 57 Cohan on the outside. 55 Yazek, second row inside, and then Jeff Ward, second row outside.
Grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, buckle them seatbelts tight, guys. It's going to be a 10-lap dash here at Richmond for the ASRS Premier Cup Series, brought to you by Twitchy Race Reports. We have the 42 on older tires on the inside, the dominant driver, Nicholas Cohan, on the outside. It's going to be a 10-lap shootout. Pace car is in, waiting for Foose to get on the loud pedal, and here he does. Green flag in the air.
Foose got going pretty good.
Restart.
So did Cohan. He might get the lead if Foose makes a mistake, and he does.
I don't even think that was a mistake. I think that's just the older tires going at it. Foose not able to hold it. Cohan rounds the outside. And here comes Jeff Ward also doing so.
Jim Foose contact to the back bumper. 9 laps to go now. The 55 got stuck behind him, and now he's losing positions dramatically.
Foose is the slow guy on the inside. Everyone going around the outside. But now this is the chance for Jeff Ward. This is the best position he's been in, the closest he's been to the leader. And this is the money time. 8 laps to go this time by.
Can he do anything with our leader, Cohan?
That is the big question right now. It's one thing
He is
to get
quicker,
to his
it looks
back
like.
bumper. It's another thing they're trying to pass him. It looks like he's starting to inch his way closer and closer as the laps tick down fast.
And does he play clean? Does he play nice? Does he use the chrome horn? I mean, it's a short track.
He will use the bumper. I don't know when he will, but he's going to use it. I can almost guarantee it.
He dives it into turn 1. Can he hold the runoff exit? You drive it in deep. Sometimes it compromises you on exit.
Looks like he was able to hold it out there for the most part. Maybe going to try to back it into the corner a little bit more that time. Gets a good run off, but Cohan just that much better.
Cohan up 34 positions in this race. Now he's going for the win, trying to have nearly the perfect race, almost last to first. Lost some time that time by. Cohan nearly in the wall off turn 2.
I think Ward is going to need Cohan to make a mistake for him to be able to get to him.
Couple laps on the opening restart were in Ward's favor, but I think just the natural speed of the 57 may be taking over here as the newness wears over those tires.
5 laps to go.
Cohan down into turn number 3. Ward trying to trace his tire tracks right now, but Cohan just has that much more natural speed, as Corey said, as these tires starting to wear out.
And just, dives it really hard into turn 1 and 2 was Ward here. Maybe he was saving the tires just a little bit as he's closed a lot on the back bumper of the 57 entering 3.
Oh, he gets loose into 3.
He dove it in deep.
Big wiggle that time by. He saves it, but lost a lot of ground down through turns number 3 and 4.
That
killed his chances.
That was his stab at it. That was his last-ditch effort to get to the back bumper, and I think that's going to be the dagger for him. 3 laps to go, and just as reference, guys, Foose is back to the 15th position on those old tires. But as we go back,
and Eckrich is up to 10th.
2 laps to go, 1.5 miles around Richmond International Raceway for Nicholas Cohan.
Ward is starting to inch his way back up there. I just don't think he'll have enough time unless Cohan makes a mistake.
Cohan's been up front for 104 circuits around this place. It'll be 105, it'll be 106 if he takes the checkers. White flag in the air.
88 was pretty much the fastest car all race, and well, Cohan, once the 88 got the penalty, showed that he could be just as fast. And now, as they come down out of turn number 4, your Richmond for the season opener of the ASRS Cup Series, Nicholas Cohan.
Cohan, Ward, and Drew Carroll is your top 3 here tonight. A heck of a race, a heck of a fight for these ASRS guys. Quite the show they put on for us here tonight at Richmond. So stay with us. We'll be right back after commercials for the post-race show and some victory and top 3 interviews. So stay with us.
I grew up in Northern California, and my parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races.
Welcome back, folks, to PTR TV here with the post-race show, and an exciting finish here, guys. And that was a heck of a battle for Richmond for sure.
Alright, Drew Carroll, PTR TV. So you come home with a third place finish. What are your thoughts after this race?
That was a long one for sure. Yeah, that's about all we had was third place today. We really didn't have any competition for the win tonight, but it was a good race. We stayed pretty much top 5 the whole day. Not very exciting for sure, just kind of rode around there. So it was a good day, proud of everybody. It was just a good race for us.
Yeah, we saw a lot of green flag racing there. How is the car handling out there?
It was really tight for me. I was really having a tough time getting off the corner, and that's why I started moving my lane up. I saw a lot of guys start moving up, so I moved up my lane and just was kind of committed to the top side there. Pretty much the second half of the race. So yeah, just fighting tight all day. Really right front was king, and I don't know how those guys were on the bottom. I just couldn't find any speed down there.
Alright, well, on that final restart, did you think you would have a shot at the win and there was maybe a wreck, or what was your thoughts?
I don't know. I was sitting P5, and it was kind of, if the C's parted, I was going to take it, but that 42 up there with those old tires kind of made it a gamble on where to go, so I was just kind of waiting to see what Brian did there and see how the whole lane's stacked up, and the restart went really well. Just didn't have enough, I wasn't close enough to the front to really make a move, so it's unfortunate we didn't get there, but like I said, it was a really good race, really solid day for us.
Alright, well, is there one you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, I just got to thank Clipping That Apex for coming on board again for another season with number 85 LPM, Loud Pedal Motorsports car. I got to thank Brian Yazik and Michael Krobach for having me at Loud Pedal Motorsports. Definitely brought a good car today. Just need to take that next step, try to go get a win next week.
Alright, congrats on your finish, and thank you for talking with us.
Alright, thank you guys. Appreciate the broadcast.
Yep, no problem. And now, Corey Silva will talk to second place finisher Jeff Ward.
Alright, Jeff Ward, you started all the way back in 36th and methodically worked your way up through the field. Nearly got the win there. You took a stab at it at the end, so just kind of wrap up your race and ultimately how you got to second position.
Well, it was pretty hard fought. Had a bad qualifying run there. We actually spun out, crossed in the line, and got a 2X, and the lap didn't count. So would have been starting up front. They're pretty close, and it was just a battle to get up through there. And luckily, was able to do it pretty clean. I think got into the O2 there and got a little bit of damage, but it didn't really affect the car too much. And there with Nick, that was a fun battle, man. I could get to his bumper, and that's about all I could do. And I drove it too hard there with about 2 to go and lost too much ground to do anything. But, congrats to him. He definitely, I think, had probably the best car besides Scott, I think, was right there with him before he had the speeding penalty. So he had to come home second in the season opener, man. I'm pumped up about that, and that's good for points. And hopefully next week we can try to start up there instead of dead last.
Yeah, that's obviously going to make your life a little easier starting up front. But talk about the racetrack here tonight at Richmond with 36 cars rather starting the race, running 200 laps. We saw a lot of lines playing around. How did that come into play for you with where you had to run your car tonight?
Well, I was telling my teammates, I said I wish this place was a little more like Iowa and turn 3 and 4, you know, where it's a little more versatile. And I'll be darned if we didn't go out there and that high line in 3 and 4 is actually, you know, you could use it once you got some laps on the tires. So that's awesome. I don't know what iRacing did, but they need to keep doing it because Richmond used to be a one-lane track on the bottom, and looks like it's changed a little bit. So that was a lot of fun out there battling side by side.
Yeah, it was definitely fun for you guys on the track. It was fun for us here in the booth to watch. So again, you finished second. Congrats on that. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Just say thanks to Jim, you know, here at American Sim Racing. Thanks to my teammates at Loud Pedal Motorsports. Thanks to give a shout out to my dad. He watches the broadcast, so hopefully that was an entertaining one for him to watch, and you know, just friends and family.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Congrats on the finish, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, thanks to you guys too. We'll see you.
Thank you. And now Brandon will talk to the winner, Nicholas Cohen.
Out of the race car, now your winner here from Richmond International Raceway, Nick Cohen. Nick, you had a great race here tonight. Tell us what was going through your mind the whole time. Do you think that you had anything for these guys at the beginning of this thing?
Yeah, I knew if we got up front in the lead, away from, you know, all the, you know, the cautions that were bound to happen, I knew we had a good shot. I felt good in the long run, and I normally am pretty good in the short run here, and then pretty bad in the long run. But tonight I think I had combination of both. The bottom groove was good for the first 5-10 laps, and I started moving up to the middle high groove there, and it really, you know, fits my driving style in the first place. So I knew I was going to try it at some point, but it really came into play there and really worked out well. So I'm happy with it tonight.
Yeah, awesome job here tonight. You know, we saw one of your main competitors, you know, get a penalty just past the halfway point in this race. What was going through your head there? At that point, did you think that you could pretty much walk away with this thing?
No, not at all. This, you know, battling with Brian and Jeff and Drew up here in the front, and nothing is easy. You know, it might have looked easy leading the last, you know, 80 so laps or whatever it was, but it definitely was not easy. They're old teammates of mine, and they're really fast drivers. So yeah, you couldn't screw up anywhere. You know, I made you know, a mistake here or there off the corner, and I lost a 10th, and you could just see it in my mirror. You could just see how much they gained just by making one little tiny mistake. So you had to be flawless, and you know, I got lucky. The cautions fell at a decent time. There wasn't a lot of them tonight, which is also a great job by everybody, and we got to have some long runs, and you know, it just we just were patient and put ourselves in the right position and just ran our own race, not worried about anybody else.
Well, awesome, Nick, and you were consistent all night tonight. You come home with a victory. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, I gotta thank everybody at Disney Motorsports, all my teammates, Toyota, and CG Automotive for being on the car, and just shout out to you guys for putting this together, and for ASRS for putting this together also.
Awesome, Nick. Congratulations on the victory. Your winner here tonight at Richmond International Raceway, Nick Cohen.
Well, that is the post-race interviews for you. We talked to the top three, Cohen, Ward, and Carroll. So now let's wrap up tonight's coverage with the final results here from the Richmond International Raceway and call it a night here on PTR TV. So as we spoke to with the victory tonight was Nicholas Cohen in the 57, then Jeff Ward in the 90 in second, and then we had Drew Carroll third, Brian Yazek fourth, Michael Krobik in fifth, Woody Mahan, Devin Sarah, Jordan Ashland, Steve Ritter, and Brad Cross the top 10.
And Scott Eckers finishing in 11th after he dominated this race until he got that speeding penalty around lap 100. And then Jonathan Holstein in 12th, Alan Young in 13th, Mark Emerson in 14th, Jim Foose in 15th, and then Scott Smith, Rick Thompson, Edward Ray, Jason Stewart and Jared Milgard rounding out the top 20.
The rest of the results flashing on your screen now, and well, we wouldn't have these broadcasts without our channel sponsors. Starting out with Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. That's Air Movement Fabrications. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Also, iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's two main overlay systems, ATVO and IRTVO. If you're a broadcast company looking for custom overlays to make your channel shine, talk to Jason Allison at iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon to keep broadcast quality high and cost low for league owners. We need all the help from the fans. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PTRTV. If you become a Patreon and donate, you will get rewards that vary depending on how much you donate. Become a Patreon at patreon.com/PTRTV.
So that was another broadcast here on PTR TV. We brought you the ASRS Premier Cup Series, back to Cup 200, brought to you by Twitchy Race Reports. Evan, Corey Silva, and Brandon Krutz brought you the action. Stay with us tomorrow night. We'll have the Hardline Contender Series, and Friday night we'll have the Hardline Cup Series. Another full week of action next week. We'll have more ASRS for the entire 2018 campaign, so don't miss a race. Stay with us every single week. Signing out, as I said, Corey, Evan, and Brandon. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night.
Catch you next time.
Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars. There's just something about dirt racing that's just, you can't get anywhere else. I enjoy going back to race them whenever I can. I get to run, about 20 to 25 dirt races a year and try and, put on a show every time I'm there.
Battle for the lead. Kyle Larson to the inside of Shane Stewart. Slide job, no. Larson unable to